I added an extra $15,000 per month in organic search revenue to this Western brand. No blogs, no digital PR, no 6-month technical SEO rabbit hole, and no fancy overpriced AI visibility tools. And here's the part that most people won't like. We didn't do anything new or experimental. This is the exact same Shopify SEO playbook that we're using for almost every single brand we work with this year, and it is quietly compounding while everyone else chases tactics and tools that don't move the revenue. I'm going to show you the numbers, the pages that moved, and the 5 things we actually did to make this happen, so you can add $15,000 a month to your Shopify store in 2026. Let's get to it. Let's start with the results. So extra $15.2K in organic search revenue in 6 months. We started with them in May of this year. I'm pulling this in from October data so as not to skew the November and December revenue, which is, of course, way above baseline. So filter down to session source medium exactly matches Google organic. Extra revenue, 86% growth to about 32.8K in the month of October, which is up 15.2K from when we started in May. Organic revenue, month-by-month breakdown, so you can see kind of how growth looks over a 6-month timeline. In May, they did 17.6K. In June, up to 25.9K. In July, down a little bit to 20K. August, up again to 30K, actually. September, down a little bit to 22.8K. And then October, 32.8K. So it's not linear growth month over month, just like every channel. Meta ads, Google ads, whatever, like it's not always just up and to the right all the time. However, plotted out over time, trend line is moving up in the right direction. So these are like realistic growth results to expect from SEO. Now, also 4x increase in top 3 collection page rankings on Google. When we filter down to see like which landing pages drove the most revenue, all the pages we built and optimized were driving like 95% of the revenue. So this number, 4x increase in top 3 collection page rankings on Google, this happened first so that the revenue increase could grow. Like these rankings had to happen so that we could add 15K in organic revenue over a 6-month timeline. All right. Now, also along like this is total collection page rankings. If you break it down by specific keywords, 188 new top 3 rankings. Things like Western knives, twister hats, Western knife, cowboy knife, felt cowboy hats, cowboy knives plural, rough out cowboy boots, things like that. Volume all in like let's call it 700 to like 1.5K range, all ranking number 1. Okay, so this is where the revenue is being driven through, is these keywords in particular. Now, the strategy. These are the same tactics we've been using for 99% of our brands this year. First, audit and address basic technical SEO issues. We are not getting caught in some technical SEO rabbit hole. Number 2, optimize existing collections. Number 3, build new collections to target additional keywords and personas. I'm going to talk about this later, and I've talked about it a lot on my channel already. Number 4, internal links between collections. And 5, paid for backlinks to homepage and to target collection pages. I will break down how we do that, pages we're targeting, all that kind of stuff. What we didn't do, notably, we didn't write a single blog. We still haven't. I don't have any plans to. We didn't do any digital PR. I've said before, I think it's a waste of money for most brands, so we're not going to do it. And again, what we didn't do, we didn't waste 3 months on technical SEO. We were done and dusted with technical SEO in the first 7 days working with the brand. So I'm also going to break down at the end of the video what we're doing in 2026. First, step 1, audit and address basic technical SEO issues. So technical SEO alongside digital PR is probably the most overrated part of SEO for the average, or even I'd say most D2C brands. If you have less than 100 SKUs on a Shopify store and you've been somewhat average at site hygiene, technical SEO is not going to make a huge impact, okay? If you have hundreds or thousands of SKUs, or you run on a custom CMS, or you've got major keyword cannibalization as a byproduct of poor site hygiene, or egregiously bad page speed, or some other major technical SEO issue like href flang issues if you do international SEO, hundreds of broken links, redirect chains, broken backlinks, then if you have any one or multiple of those things, definitely technical SEO will be important, okay? So let's call it 97% of the time, technical SEO is going to be important, but not going to be the thing that all of a sudden unlocks your growth. Let's call it 3% of the time, generously, it could be the thing that unlocks your growth. But for the average DTC site, that is super uncommon. Been running an agency for 4 years. I have seen one client in all of those years have one major technical SEO issue that once fixed basically unlocked a bunch of growth. Most brands that every brand except the one brand has benefited from content and link building, so on-page and off-page SEO, okay? Now this brand, built on Shopify, sells only in the US, so no international SEO needs to be addressed. has done great site hygiene over the years. Very few 404s, only a couple broken backlinks, a few redirect chains, and page speed was solid. Didn't really need to do a lot technical SEO wise. So again, like this is what the average client looks like, believe it or not. 1,500 plus SKUs, which is above the, let's call it less than 100 SKUs baseline I said earlier. Despite that, even 1,500 SKUs, technical SEO was still hardly at all impactful. A necessary step for us to take so that we can build more on top. But again, not fixing these items did not unlock some hidden growth that they weren't having before. So what did we actually do? We added schema to the homepage, the product pages, and the collection pages. We redirected the few 404s that existed. We set up pagination, and we reconfigured the robots.txt file and added an LLMs.txt file. Number 2, optimize existing collections. So none of the existing collections had any copy on the pages, and this was definitely the easiest one we knew we could get. Some of these pages already ranked like bottom of page 1, top page 2, so I knew adding copy was like immediately going to put them in the top like 3 to 5 spots. Our collection page optimization and creation workflow is about 80% automated. It's like 10 or 12 steps, but broken down more concisely, it's 5 steps. We identified our target keywords using Google Search Console and Ahrefs, generated the copy for all pages with our AI model that's trained on all the pages we've ever ranked, all the collection pages we've ever ranked on Google, which is a couple, like a little over 3,000 now. And 2, the brand's style dossier, which we built by scraping all of the brand's content off the site so that we knew which words they like to use, don't like to use, sentence length, writing style, things of that nature. We then added internal links, published and pushed the new pages to an indexing, or the updated pages to an indexing tool, and then monitor results over the next 30 and 60 days, updating the pages as needed. Again, none of the pages had content, so putting literally any content on the page would have been beneficial, but to give ourselves the best shot, we wanted to run our workflow, right? Next up, build new collections to target additional keywords and personas. Probably the biggest win any Shopify store can get once you've tackled kind of the basics of like current on-page optimization. Same automated workflow we used in step 2. We just applied an entire new range of keywords rather than the existing pages, okay? We used ChatGPT to ideate as many keywords as possible and then cross-reference the data with Ahrefs to validate search volume. Competitive research also yielded a few keywords, but not as many. I will say on like one thing we don't do a lot of is competitive research. I actually think we, maybe a bit of an arrogant statement, but I think we'll actually come up with more keywords internally as a team using kind of our brainstorming and our workflows and just our knowledge of SEO than any competitor could possibly illuminate for us. So we do very little competitive research, and we tend to find more keywords than every single competitor. Just one example here. The single knives, like there was just one knives collection when we started, but again, like they sell different styles of knives, and they're like a Western Southern brand. So like there's a lot of subcategories or subclassifications of knives. So the one knives collections was split down to like Western knives, cowboy knives, then we had like pocket knives, straight blades, things like that, okay? As an example, right, we did the same thing with like saddles and flannels and pants and all this kind of stuff as well. Number 4, built internal links between collections. So you cannot just build 100 new collections and expect them to rank, right? If we just did step 3 and just like publish the pages and let them be, even if we index them, probably not going to rank at all, right? So you must first show them to Google, which I talked about in step 3. We solved this part with an indexing tool. Getting them indexed is showing them to Google. Keeping them in the index is a whole nother step. You can get a page indexed, and 1 week later it can be out of the index. It happens actually more than you would think. So you have to force Google to pay attention to it constantly. More links equals more attention. So how do we, when you add new pages to the site, especially this many, how do you get Google to pay attention constantly and rank these pages at the top of Google? 2 steps, really. Make sure each page is within 2 to 3 clicks of the homepage. This is the bare minimum requirement to ranking a page. Step 2, build at least 5 internal links to that page. The more you build, the higher it'll rank, okay? So let's say like we built that Western knives collection. First, we want to make sure in the site architecture, which you can verify with Screaming Frog, that is within 2 to 3 clicks of the homepage. You also then want to build at least 5 or more, ideally, internal links to the page. The more internal links you build, the higher it's going to rank, okay? Now, when you build like 100 pages, for example, not all 100 pages are deserving of the same amount of internal links because they're not all the same value, right? Page 1 may have a higher search volume that you're targeting for that keyword or be a more profitable category of your brand. Well, that page is way more important to rank than page 100 that has no, like very little search volume and poor, like worse margins, right? So you can think about a priority list, which is how we do it. Like, okay, page 1 needs, like if we want to rank page 1, like it has to get the most amount of internal links. So we may build like 12 or 15 there. Whereas page 100, if we just need to satisfy the bare minimum requirements, we'll build like 4 to 5 internal links, okay? So that's how you think about it. Step 5, we paid for backlinks to homepage and target collection pages. We didn't do digital PR. We didn't get cute trying to earn links. We actually paid for all of our links, and it works really well. 4 steps. Identify a list of potential sites we want to reach out to. We do this by targeting with Ahrefs and competitor backlink lists. Clean the list up to eliminate PBNs, low traffic sites, and other generally low quality sites. We do this with a variety of filters and Ahrefs and a blacklist we cross-reference against. And then we send cold emails to the remaining sites. A couple different ways you can get contact data. I'm not going to get into that in this video. And then 4, pay a fee in exchange for a link, okay? We've been building about 70% link insertions, 30% guest posts the last few months. It's working for us, right? We've toggled these percentages up and down. We've gone 50-50 guest posts, link insertion. We've gone 80-20. 70-30 is what we're currently doing. It's working very well for us. For this brand, 60% of the links were to the homepage with branded anchors, which was their brand name, and the remaining 40% of links were to their target collections with a mix of keyword plus branded anchors, okay? All of this enabled us to drive, as a recap, an extra 15.2K a month in organic search revenue in 6 months, 188 new top 3 rankings on Google, and a 4x increase, quadrupling of top 3 collection page rankings on Google. What are we doing more of in 2026? Actually, more of the same. More collection pages, more optimizations, more internal links, more paid links. Anything new we're doing? Product roundup articles, for example, like I'm imagining like with the knives collection, to use that example again, like, best knives for hunting, or, best knives for stocking stuffers, things like that. We're going to create articles like that. We'll get into some competitor comparison articles. We're also starting Reddit for the brand as well, basically dropping branded comments on Reddit to seed LLMs, as well as like improve reputation online. But yeah, more of the same, plus a few other items: product roundups, competitor comparisons, LLM content. This brand, I see quite a bit of growth given their AOV and kind of their expanding product range over time. Now, if you want this done for you, you can book a link to speak with me. Links in the description below, and we'll chat about if Shopify SEO with our agency is a good fit for your brand.